Anne-Marie Morris.
Thank you. If I may, I will focus my remarks today on water supply rather than pollution. Let me give you a context. The Environment Agency predicts that England risks running short of water by 2045. That's not very far away. That's due to climate change and population growth. The government is struggling to try to get us down to 122 litres per person usage by 2050. We currently use 145 litres. We've built no new reservoirs since 1991, and we know that increasingly the Environment Agency are going to reduce river abstractions. Now, in 2022, we had one of the hottest summers on record, and yes, we almost did run out of water. And so what happened in the southwest? Reservoirs were at a record low. Roadford Lake was at 30% below its usual level. Hosepipe bans, much to everyone's consternation, were introduced for over a year, from August 22 to September 23. The Environment Agency were not impressed, and as a result of a Freedom of Information Act request, a leaked email from the Environment Agency said as follows: South West Water is not honest, open and transparent with regulators about drought projections. It lacks understanding of its own water supply system. Basically, it wasn't prepared. What did South West Water do? Well, to its credit, it did start putting in place steps. It introduced the option of water audits. It had a number of water-saving products available, but not everyone can use them, and they ran out very quickly. Its Stop the Drop and Save Every Drop campaign were well regarded, and indeed other water companies have followed suit. But they didn't deliver the savings expected. The target was 5%. It was actually a reduction of 3% in consumption. They also introduced a non-household innovation fund. So far, so good, but as we head forward, climate change is not going to improve matters. It's going to make it worse. Looking forward then to the water plan for 24, there is an assumption that there will be a 16-fold increase in heat waves by 2030, that we will need 15 megalitres per day, or rather we will have less water available by 15 megalitres per day by 2050. The population in Devon will be up by 350,000. Many will work from home, increasing demand, and we know that abstraction licences are going to continue to decrease. So, net-net, we will need an extra 30 million litres of water a day for this planned period. I have a real concern that the supply and demand calculations that have been made by South West Water are unrealistic. There is a huge over-reliance on smart meters to deliver the goods, and indeed for every one of us using less water. The supply-demand balance metric for 22-23 was in the red for last year for South West Water because 2 of the 4 water zones were in deficit. By 2050, we will need 200 million litres of water per day. It is not realistic. We already know that the figures from South West Water are questionable. Work is going on with Ofwat looking at the leakage data. Work is going on looking at the consumption data. Smart meters have proved a bit of a challenge in the electricity industry, and I see no hope that it'll be better for water, not least because they're going to be under paving stones. The apps, and it's not clear what sort of a device South West Water will use, do not work very well. Certainly, if there's anything to go by in the electric market, if your property is too far away from where the core meter is, then the app simply doesn't work. I put in a smart meter. I still have to give my readings every 6 months. To top it all, if we don't have proper guidance for individuals, if they don't know how much water they're using in a bath, a shower, a washing machine, if we don't have manufacturers putting water usage, if you like, grading systems on their machines, we are never going to change behaviour to meet the need, which clearly is there. So here, it is partly South West Water, indeed the water companies are bearing the brunt of trying to pass this message. I believe that the government also needs to do some more heavy lifting here. It feels like this is being done to consumers, not with and for consumers. I'm pleased that there is going to be a consumer-focused condition introduced into water company licences. But when? The government said 2024. Perhaps the Minister could confirm whether or not that is going to be the case. That will mean that we as customers should be well informed. We should feel that we can rely on South West Water to fix problems. Well, I can tell you, this weekend, my residents in Ashcombe were very concerned because the pumping station, which supplies their water, has been off, on with different problems since 2017, and it failed again. And this is 2024, 7 years later. The consumer duty can come not soon enough. So water supply is just as important as pollution. We need to focus on it. We cannot rely on reduced demand assumptions. We need more infrastructure. We can't just sit on our laurels, and it needs to be innovative, and we need to look, as South Water, to their credit, are beginning to look at desalination. But that is only the start of a very big mountain which still needs to be climbed.